What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. After a 2-week hiatus, we are officially back. Albert, I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way. How the heck have you been? And how have you been enjoying wrestling since Wrestlemania weekend?
Wrestlemania weekend was so much fun. I enjoyed both nights. I admit night 2 was probably the better night, but I enjoyed both nights. I enjoyed the Raw afterwards. I enjoyed the SmackDown afterwards. I enjoyed Raw this week. I'm just very much enjoying what WWE is doing right now.
Hold up. You're saying you enjoyed the SmackDown afterwards, and I have to call bullshit on that one because Chelsea Green was robbed on the SmackDown after WrestleMania, and that's some kind of nonsense.
I was very upset about that, but I also very much love that TLC tag team match.
Okay. At least we can figure it out and get that out of the way.
That was,
myself.
Listen. I tweeted right afterwards. I said, look, I love Zelina Vega so much, but come on. How can we do this to Chelsea? It's our queen.
So I'll say, so WrestleMania weekend, I got to meet our queen, Chelsea Green, and she was still United States champion when I did that. So that's cool. I got to do that before she was officially robbed of that thing. But WrestleMania weekend was good for me as well. I didn't end up going, but that was, I figured I wouldn't. Just went to a few watch parties and it was all good and fun. Went to some local things going on. It was all good and fun. A lot of wrestling we've been watching, and I'm excited to talk about some of it. And I think a lot of everyone, we got the chat, some people in the chat right now, but before we get to it, I think everybody knows what I'm the most excited about and what we're going to be talking about here as soon as we get done with these comments here. We have Harry in the chat. What is up, Harry? Long time no see. Absolutely, man. Like I said, I was gone WrestleMania weekend, and then last weekend's schedules just got in the way, but we're back.
It's my fault.
Figured it out. We're here. Well, nobody's fault. Life happens.
It was my fault. Last week was absolutely my fault. I'm in a new play. Things that are great. That's why I'm doing this from my car right now. I am sacrificing and making sure that I can do everything I possibly can to make sure that this show goes on every single week. So if I've got to drive here an hour early and sit in my car and do the show, well, I will do so for you guys.
Dedication, and I appreciate it. We got Ronald in the chat. Hello, friend. What is up, Ron? Thank you for joining us as always. Babe saying looking good. Thank you very much. But no, it is you that is looking good as always. And now Chelsea. I don't know about it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Harry says Chelsea could win Money in the Bank. We'll see how it goes. We are gonna discuss Money in the Bank though towards the end of this. I want some early predictions on that one because I like where some things are going. Courtney, what is up, Courtney? She says she's flabbergasted. Shelby said, look, I didn't get to watch it live. I just saw the results after like it happened, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was sad. And
it was depressing.
Ronald says, Dom, absolutely correct, Amando. We are talking about the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the greatest luchador of all time, Dirty Daddy Dominik Mysterio, your new Intercontinental Champion. Oh. And who did he pin to win? Finn. How did that make you feel?
I want to talk about it.
My boy pinned his boy to become officially the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Crowned. The place went crazy. The watch party I was at a pool party thing that was going on, and even they went nuts for him. Like, loved it. And then I was at a watch party Monday night when Dom came out. They're popping. They're going crazy for him. He is officially, and my timeline of when this stuff would happen, again, we didn't get to the end game the way I thought it would, but I don't officially think he's a babyface either yet. But I said by this WrestleMania, this would be the WrestleMania where the babyface reaction started to come. He's officially on. They've taken a different path, and it's been great. It's been all good, and I'm just happy to see it all happen. But yeah, I will say I got a little bit nervous when on Raw they were like, he's going to defend against Penta, and I'm like, they better not have gave him that moment. Especially when Finn was like, yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'm like, you son of a, don't you do that to me. But they
no,
did.
thank God, yeah.
But
thank God for JD McDonough.
Never been so happy never been happier to see that man. So
yes.
Ron says Jimmy leaving the biggest event of the year, which was, hey, I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anything. I seen it. I enjoyed it. I had a great time. And I will tell you right now, I am enjoying my wrestling life so much more now that I have left X, Twitter, Toxicity Central, whatever you want to call it. I'm loving it. I really, to sit down and watch Raw and not feel the need or desire to like chat with people who are just going to argue with me anyway. Just sit there and watch it and take it in as I'm supposed to. It's been so, it's so good. I love it.
I've been a lot less active, I think, as well, and I think it's been helpful because I don't see a lot of the negativity, and even when I'm on there, even when I do, I'm really just breathing past it, and not even acknowledging it, because I'm just on there looking for some fun stuff. So, I think for the most part, what's that?
It's hard to find fun stuff on there anymore.
It is. It's unfortunate, but it is.
Yeah.
But I will say this: there's been one internet complaint that I actually will get. I did get on board with because I didn't realize it until it was actually happening. I know that not a lot of people celebrate, but the fact that WrestleMania was on Easter Sunday was a little bit of a weird decision, I think, because a lot of people do spend that day with their families. I did as well. So for me, it led me to have a very interesting viewing experience for WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining, by the way. I think it ended up working out almost in a more positive way. I got to watch I watched the first match on my phone. Kind of unfortunate, but my family was still over. It is what it is. Then when my sisters had left, I had stayed behind to help my parents clean up, and I put on, from pretty much the second match on. So I got to watch from the second match on to, I think, the women's tag team title match with my parents. Like my mom was floating in and out. My dad was sitting there and watching. I thought it was a different experience this year than, just sitting there usually, which is how I did Sunday by myself, just watched it alone and, just chilled and did whatever I wanted. But, I think it was a different experience this year, getting to watch it with him. I actually seeing that, like, he enjoyed it a lot more than I thought that he would. I expect him to be, I expect him to be pretty negative. And he was actually like, oh, this actually is pretty good. And he was like I had to explain to him who Joe Hendry was. But, when that whole thing went down, he was like, oh, wow. First of all, he was very surprised that TNA was still around. Second of all, he was really shocked to see that not only were they around, but they were working with WWE. So that blew his mind. And he actually,
crazy.
And he immediately fell in love. He was like, oh, this Joe Hendry guy's great. So, people said he got on the internet. They were saying he got squashed, and they were saying that, it was a bad thing for him.
I'll gladly talk about that a little bit later. I figured that would be a thing that people went stupid crazy over, and I'll gladly talk about that later because that's silly. I'm happy. Harry says he's happy with most of the winners of Mania besides Logan Paul. Hey, I wasn't happy with it either, but again, this tells me I don't think AJ's sticking around. I do think he's leaving WWE at this point. That's just my take. If he doesn't, awesome. If he does, hey, still awesome. I don't really care either way. Do what he wants to do. Enjoy yourself. But I felt like if AJ was staying, he was going to beat Logan Paul. If he wasn't, he was going to lose Logan Paul. He's going to put him over to set up Logan Paul, obviously going after Jey Uso at Backlash, which, hey, people always say, like, hey, stop giving these people wins when they don't win anything. Okay, well, he just beat Logan Paul at the biggest show of the year. He logically has an argument to go after Jey Uso now. It made sense. So I hate the guy all you want, but it made sense. I'm not mad at it.
Being some of the caliber of AJ Styles lends me to believe that you can be the number one contender for the world title. Sure.
Yes, for sure. Harry says all my friends on the Discord thought Dom would get Zach. Yeah, I literally was just dreading it the rest of the night. And I was like, JD's going to come back. They're going to screw Dom. Oh, my goodness. I hate everything. And so then when he won, I got to just pop all over again. I'm like, oh, this is the greatest weekend of all time.
Harry
And WrestleMania was on 420. Thank you.
That's true.
I liked that.
I'm not going to say I dislike that as well.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about Dom here because that's what we're starting off. Then we'll go back into the chat here. So
let's do it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited were you for this kid?
Oh, man, it was so hard because there was a point where I was like, they're going to pull the trigger on Finn. They're going to do it. They're going to put the belt on him. This is great. And I saw that when he went for the coup de grace, that Dom never got off the turnbuckle, and I went, that's it. Like, I knew it instantaneously. And as soon as it happened, I jumped up and celebrated. Like, I was happy for him. Like, it's impossible not to be. To see where this kid was getting booed out of arenas as a babyface because he was so bad to now being cheered as a heel for winning his first singles title, from being told that like he was a terrible worker to now being to now putting on some of the better matches on the shows every night. Dom has evolved so much by doing so little, and I think that he is the perfect example of how to have all the tools there and not have to use them every single time and only use them when you need to get a reaction. Dom is a very smart wrestler. He's very smart in what he's going to do. His babyface run, we talk about this all the time, it's going to be ridiculous because he's going to start pulling out things that like we don't remember that he had the capacity to even do. People are going to go nuts seeing Dom in the ring. He's holding back so much right now, and his character is so over, and that's going to give him like just like more years on the end of his career because he's going to have much less bumps on those bump cards because he's not going to be doing all the crazy stuff because he doesn't need to because his character is so over. WrestleMania was a crowning achievement to a star of the future, and that match is it looks like could really launch 3 of those 4 guys into the absolute stratosphere in at the end of 2025. We've seen where Braun Breaker is right now. Obviously, they have huge plans for Penta. This is and Dom winning that match, I think, really solidifies where they see all of these guys going in the future. Hats off to Dom. He killed it. It was great.
It was beautiful. I've enjoyed the trajectory this kid has been on for. I dare say of the wrestlers under 30, he is the smartest. He knows what he's doing far more than any of these other ones under 30 that are always on the list of like the best under 30. And I think that's why he's ranked so highly, is because I think he's smarter than all of them. He understands when to use certain little things, when to address the crowd, when to ignore the crowd, when to look away from the match, when to use this, when to not use things. Like, he's brilliant. Like, I think that's the most underrated thing about them, is that nobody really talks about that. They talk about how good he is, but they don't ever really focus in on what he's so good at. It's literally every single small detail he does better than any of the other ones. And that's why he is just so, at this point, he's getting cheered, he's getting booed. That's why he's such a magnet for the crowd. And to see people like Randy Orton, John Cena, Adam,
oh my God,
all these legends who are like, yo, this kid is going to be a big deal. He's going to be huge. Like 15 years, 20 years from now, he's going to be like one of the biggest one. Like, you can deny the kid all you want, but if you want to argue with those guys, I just don't need to listen to you because you don't know what they know.
And this is also why, people get into those arguments of, moves, move sets, things like that being like, so like Shawn Michaels wasn't like this guy who had like a million moves in his move set. You know what I mean? Dom is the same way. He is working off of crowd reaction. He's using offense that is, easy to execute, but doing things the right way to get the crowd into it. I mean, anybody can hit a vertical suplex, but it's Dom, and we know the relationship he has with Eddie Guerrero, and all that, and him basing basically his whole character really off of Eddie Guerrero at this point too. It just, him getting that, just using those moves gets him over like so much more. He's so smart in what he does, and it's not all about cramming 75 moves into a match to make it important. Every match that Dom is in is important because he can win, and you don't know how he's going to win either because he's, for the most part, doesn't do it clean anyway. So it's a really
I think him winning clean sometimes is absolutely crazy because I don't think you really see chicken shit heels on his level pull those off. But when he does it, it's not like he's not squashing people. He puts people over big time. He's one of the best bump takers in WWE. Like he sells his butt off for these guys.
Yes.
And all this work he's done, the character work, the bumping and selling he does for people, putting people over. Like he got Rhea to another level. He got Liv from here to here. She's probably she's literally a top 3 superstar of the women's division in wrestling right now.
Going off to do movies, you know?
And apparently it's going to be a huge one.
Yeah.
And I know she's put in work. I'm not taking anything away from her. But Dom got her there with this storyline by being with him. Like this kid, as much as people still love the dude, he's still underrated in my opinion.
I agree.
Is that valuable to the business as far as WWE is concerned. He's too damn good. And I won't continue to go on because I could spend the whole hour, and there's plenty of other things that we can talk about that's happened since Mania and that happened at Mania. I just wanted, of course, to give my boy some flowers because it was an amazing moment. I loved it. I popped. I got to pop all over again, and I am ready to see where this thing goes. Woo! Dominik Mysterio is Intercontinental Champion, baby.
So, all right. And the story's already looking fun to unfold. Everybody was like, "Oh, why is Judgment Day still a thing?" This is why.
Yes. So back to the comments real quick. Ron says he has a crazy, terrible idea. Imagine Cody stays gone until Backlash, only to turn on Orton. So we'll talk about the Cody Cena stuff next. I'll get the comment, and we're going to go back to that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cody will do that to Randy. What Harry says you don't think AJ Styles will go to AEW. I think there's a possibility. I mean, why not get that last big paycheck if this is going to be your last contract? Why not go get the most money you possibly can? That's the way I'm looking at it. And there's a lot of people there that he has history with.
I'm wondering if he feels like him going there will put a little bit of a tarnish on his legacy because he's not the AJ Styles of even maybe 5 years ago. That's the way that I see it. Yeah. I think that AJ's considered retiring so long. I just don't see why he would go to a completely different place.
I'll say this. I would look at how they did Sting's retirement, and I would look at how they did Bryan Danielson. Even though a lot of people didn't like Bryan Danielson's retirement and how it went, it was how Danielson wanted it to happen. And for Danielson, it was great. And if you look at it in hindsight, I think it was a great way. Like you don't really ever get to see people go out the way Danielson did. And whereas it was like, if you're a Danielson fan, it was like, that's horrible. But I think that was kind of the way it was intended to make it be. Like, you're supposed to be like, I don't want to see him go out like that. I think because Danielson is such a troll, I feel like that's what he was going for. And I think AJ looks at that. I think a lot of wrestlers can look at what AEW does with the veterans and see how they send them out. Like, hey, what can they do for me? And make more money than I will anywhere else. That's the way I look at it. So that's why I think it's a possibility. I want AJ to make one last appearance, Ron says, and Impact TNA. Yeah, I think he will. I think he will.
I think he should.
Harry says Dom deserved it. He thinks yes, Dom deserved it for sure. And Penta will get there. There's no doubt about it. What they do with Finn at this point, I don't know. I hope they figured out because we've talked about this for months now. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah. It's kind of silly, but
I've been waiting.
Ron, Harry says, I know, but I would like AJ. Hey, if he does, he does. It's not out of the realm of possibility if he retires in WWE. I just think
I want to do whatever makes him happiest.
That's always what I say. If he's very serious about one more contract and just being done forever, I would go get that money from AEW. I would. That'd be me. Like,
if they're gonna give it to him,
it's not like WWE is like his like. I know a lot of people know AJ from WWE at this point, but to me, he's still a TNA Impact guy. Like, that's AJ Styles. So him going somewhere else, I don't think tarnishes his legacy or anything like that with WWE. That's me. Ron says, I asked Albert if Jimmy was leaving extra work. No, it's not. It is not. Hey, and if you're not following me, if you have Instagram, you can follow me over there. I'm over there. I'm doing wrestling stuff over there, and I'm also here. So I love talking to y'all. That's why I feel comfortable leaving it, because I can still talk to the people that I enjoy talking to wrestling about, and that's why I did it. I just got tired of the extra blah 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 stuff. Oh no. Sorry, I forgot to mute my phone.
It happens.
I was shocked Carmella Hayes won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Based on what's happened the last few years, that means that they're gonna do something with him. Like,
right.
It might be a slow burn, but it feels like they're finally starting to get there.
I think it was the right move.
And in English, yeah, he's working his way up. I think a lot of them. EO has been doing it more. They had Stephanie Vaquer on there doing it very well. Like they're working with them, and it's working, because those are all three of the most over people in WWE right now. So
it's amazing to me how early they're pushing. It's amazing to me how early they're pushing Stephanie and Julia, and I mean Roxanne. I guess maybe I can see she's been there for a while, but Stephanie and Julia coming up to the main roster and having these matches already, I think is a really big indicator, that of how it's going to inevitably the women's division is going to inevitably be shaped in a couple of years. I think they're planning on moving forward with like some of these other names, knowing that they're probably nearing the end of the runs of people like Charlotte and Becky, coming up soon. Yes. Who knows what's going on with Bayley? There's a lot of speculation. Apparently she knew that this was going to happen to her and she was going to be removed from Wrestlemania. There's also then Mercedes tweeting her though afterwards, and a lot of people drawing a lot of speculation to it. A lot of people saying she won't, renew her contract after this. There's a lot to think about when it comes to her. So I think WWE is just, they're moving towards their next era of their women's division.
And they should. And I said this, if this is not the best women's division in the world by this time next year, I don't want to go for anybody's head on things, but I think Triple H, Paul Levesque, whatever you want to call him these days, Papa H, people should go after him for his booking. Because with the amount of talent that he has and the level of over that talent is and is getting, it's like there's no reason the women's division shouldn't be just blowing up right now.
Yeah, I agree.
No reason for it at this point. Those tag titles should be something. Those mid-card titles better be something, because the talent is there. Like, and there's so much that it's not even like there's so many here and then the rest are down here. There's a lot here. There's a lot here, and there's a lot here. So there's plenty to work with. So the women's division should be good by next year. But we'll move into John Cena and Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania 41. And what I'll say about it, just to get it out of the way right now, I was thoroughly enjoying WrestleMania. Night 1, night 2. I was loving it. I thought it was great. I don't care about some of the decisions, whatever. It's the decisions. That's the way they went. I'll see where they're going with it. Nothing didn't make sense.
I agree.
We were watching the John Cena match, and even the John Cena match, that it was slow, but I feel like it was John Cena not giving the crowd what they wanted. And that's him playing into his character. And I was fine with it. And then Travis Scott showed up, and that's where they lost me. I won't talk about it, whatever. I'll just say that's why they lost. If they would have just had John Cena beat Cody by kicking him and beating him and no Travis Scott showing up, fine. I would rank this WrestleMania a lot higher, but that ending was
I wouldn't have even been as upset if Travis Scott would have shown up and would have walked down the aisle in 30 seconds rather than taking 5 minutes. Cody just laying there and just, and Cena just like staring back at, like, if he would have came out through the crowd and would have pulled the referee out, that would have been fine. To me, I think what really killed it is that they had the momentum of this match going, where now Cena has this whole, this whole, I can't put Cody away. I not only did I hit him with an AA, I hit him with an avalanche AA. I put him in the SDF. Like, I hit him with everything I got, and he's still not going down. And then the slow saunter to the ring, to me, was like, stupid. That's just, it doesn't make logical sense for Cena, because Cena knows he's got to keep his foot on the gas pedal, because he knows that, this guy, he might not be able to put this guy away. People like, all right, so people were upset. Oh, he didn't even hit him with an AA. He hit him with the title, and that's how he beat him. Yeah, he's a heel. That's fine. It's that
I
whole
don't care about that. Yeah.
right. It's that 6-minute interlude, and a lot of people are upset that Cody didn't hit Cena. They're like, "Oh, well, Cody's hit people in the past. He's done this. He's done that." Yeah, but that's the point. Is that he doesn't want to be that person. He does. He literally said in the promo, "I don't want to be that person."
He also, because I was arguing about this with some friends of mine, and they were like, "That just made Cody look stupid," because he was literally just attacking. He was going all in on Cody Rhodes, on Kevin Owens 2 months prior. He was ready to obliterate AJ Styles with some steel steps. And I'm like, yeah, but in the promo, the last promo they had, he literally told John, "I still respect you." He didn't respect those guys. He respects John. So he's not going to cheat because that's disrespectful to his hero or whatever it is that he's going to consider John Cena in that moment. And that's why he didn't do it. If you pay attention, it made sense. But again, yeah, the whole the Travis Scott taking forever. Like, what are we doing here, man? Jog at least, bro. And I don't know, just the fact that it was Travis Scott, it was dumb to me. Because it's like, come on, man. Like, people are like, well, I mean, look, The Rock should have been there, blah, 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 blah. The only reason I am of the idea that The Rock should have been there is because Travis Scott was there. If Travis Scott never showed up and John Cena just cheated and won, I don't care that The Rock didn't show up, and I'm fine. Travis Scott killed the main event. And it literally took a WrestleMania that was, again, I felt like it's not as good as the last two, but I felt like it was on par with 38.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was really, really, really.
And then that happened, and then it just kind of dropped a lot. And that's unfortunate. It really is. The WrestleMania was still great. I still enjoyed it for literally 98% of the show. It was great. That was just it. Lou's in the chat. What is up? Don't worry about being late. He says hated the Travis Scott thing. Yeah, you and everybody else, buddy. That's what it was silly. But John Cena is now champion. And he came out on Raw, had a little promo, and then the Viper struck. That man slid in there like butter and said, RKO out of nowhere, setting up Backlash main event between John Cena and Randy Orton for the WWE title in St. Louis. So,
I should have known at that moment that because my idea wasn't going to work, they were going to put together another power team at the end of the show. And it's just my power team just wasn't the power team they wanted to go with. I get it. I think this is cool. Like, I do. I think that if you were going to do the end of John Cena career run, you got to do a big match with Orton. I love that it's in Orton's hometown. I love that it's Randy Orton versus John Cena and the roles reversed, and Randy Orton's the baby face and John Cena's the heel now, which is something I don't know if we've ever, we haven't, we've never seen that before. No. Because even when, Cena debuted, I think Orton by that point had already turned heel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's crazy that we're getting this, and I love it. I love the way that they're setting it up. I love the promos that they've cut against each other. I'm excited. I really am. It's making me. So they showed at I think it was on SmackDown. They showed a video package of the first ever championship match they had on pay-per-view, and it was the SummerSlam. And if you watch the opening match of that SummerSlam, after the match is over, you see a very young Albert Albanese clapping after the opening. Kane, I believe it's Kane and Finley, I think is the opening match in that, or Kane and Edge. It's something like that. Kane wins. And you see a very young Albert Albanese clapping in the audience like that. So I was there, and I didn't know that was actually the first ever time they met on pay-per-view for a world title. So it was really cool, to think, I was there. Like, that's a history-making moment, and no one knew at that moment that was going to be one of the more legendary feuds in pro wrestling. So I love the way that they're doing this. I love that they're giving these video packages. It was Kane and Finley, so there we go. Yeah. I love they're doing these video packages to hype us up. I think this is a very historic title defense, and I love that they're doing this right now. I think it's perfect. I think this is he's the perfect first opponent for John Cena.
Yeah. Real quick, Harry Flynn, he's letting us know it was Kane Finley. He's like our unofficial stat guy. Like, when we need a verification on something, Harry's always there with the information. So shout out to Harry. And if you're not doing so, the Harry Flynn Show on YouTube, go check him out, subscribe to him, all that good stuff. Because he helps us out a lot every time. So much appreciated, Harry. I know you're upset that the Orton Cena thing didn't happen because it really was a good idea. It would have been a full circle thing. Ending with Cena and Orton would have been cool and all that. I think everyone knows at this point what the end game is going to be for Cena. I think his last match is going to be putting over Cody and Cody getting the title back. That's what I think is going to happen. And I'm fine with that. That's completely okay. Cody losing the title was a good move. I think he was starting to get a little bit of booze. I don't think it was enough to worry about, but Superman can't be Superman for too long.
Look, here's the thing.
Got to get pulled back.
I'll put it to you this way. The internet the past 3 months has been telling us how much everybody hates Jey Uso. Yeah. And there was not one single person booing. There were not one single person booing when Jey Uso won the world title.
No.
But Cody Rhodes, who the internet will tell you is the number one babyface in pro wrestling right now, there were a lot of mixed reactions for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Now, I know that's nostalgic John Cena fans who are now the disruptors. The ones who are being disrupted are now the disruptors, which I think is very ironic. Yeah, and I think it's very fun in John Cena's last role as a heel champion. I think it's very full circle. You brought up a great, turn of phrase there. I think it's very full circle that we're getting the people who were disrupted for so long, the John Cena supporters, now being the disruptors, wanting to see John Cena beat Cody Rhodes for the world title. I thought that was a really interesting full circle moment. I don't think Cody was getting booed. I think it was more of, we want to see John Cena do this.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't anything against Cody. But I do, much like when LA Knight lost his title and everyone's like, this is a bad decision. I thought it was the right decision because you have to put him in check every once in a while so that people still have something to root for. With a baby face. With a heel, it doesn't work that way. But with a baby face, you gotta pull him back sometimes so that you can crown him again. And that's what they're doing with Cody here. Clearly, that's what they're doing with Cody here. And
now remember,
it's gonna work.
There was a guy named John Cena who they had to do that with because his first run was, I think, 380 days as champion. He went like WrestleMania to WrestleMania, retained the title at WrestleMania, and then lost it. And then he lost it for like a month or two and then went right back. And it was like people were like kind of pissed. They were like, all right, we need to take a break from this. I think WWE and Triple H is smart enough to have learned from that because I think Triple H wrestles him in the WrestleMania main event the year after that, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 years after that. So he knows that, and he's the one getting cheered. Yeah, he's the one getting cheered there. So I think that they were smart by taking this title off of Cody. Let's not make him Superman. Let's tuck the cape into the closet for a little bit. Let him look a little vulnerable. Right. Let's make him look a little vulnerable.
And it's going to, what I believe is going to lead to the next feud for Cody, which is Randy, and that feud does not need a title because as Ronald said up here, he thinks that Cody's going to come and turn on Randy at Backlash. What I think is going to happen is Cody's going to return at Backlash, and he's going to go after Cena, and he's going to cost Randy. And that's what's going to set Randy off on Cody. Because what are you doing? You just cost me the title. When you're doing your stuff with Kevin, I stayed back and let you deal with yours. You can't do it with me. He goes after Cody, and I think that's how you get to Cody and Randy. That's a summer-long feud that keeps Cody occupied while John Cena goes off and does the other stuff. And that's what I think is going to happen here. So, sorry, Lou. Randy ain't winning that title Backlash.
No.
But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a good, fun time.
What would be really interesting is if WWE really mess with us and they were like, he's the 17-time champion. It's never been done before. And then he loses the title the next month and wins it back at the 18th time. And he's like, now I'm just going to keep padding my stats.
Yeah, he gets the Money in the Bank briefcase and then wins.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, man, that would be fun. It just makes logical sense, man. Ronald says, I'm rebooking Judgment Day drama with Cody. No, it just makes sense because Cody is going to be blind with rage. He wants to get his revenge on Cena, and it's going to prevent him from being able to understand that he's screwing his friend Randy, and Randy's going to be pissed about it. Like, I don't even like Judgment Day did some of this, yes, but it's something they've used since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is that. That's what I think. Let's see. What was this up? Jimmy is pushing for Dom Cena. I don't think it's going to happen now. And I think that sucks. I think they're just on two different trajectories right now.
Yeah, 100%.
I just don't see it happen, which again, that sucks. Like, what are we doing? We never got to see this one-on-one match. and it doesn't look like we're going to see it. And I think that's silly. F you,
I don't
Jerk
think
Viper forever. Hey, Lou, I'm just, come on. You know Randy ain't winning, man. You know Randy ain't winning.
I think it's very interesting to think that the only time I think Cena's ever been in a ring with Dom was on like house show tag team matches when he was like doing 6-mans with him and Ray.
There was one SmackDown match, I think. It was Cena and the Mysterios versus Roman and the Usos, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
nobody cared about Dom back then. That was when everybody hated Dom, and they didn't hate him for the right reasons. They hated him because get this kid off our screen. So
I went to the SmackDown, the SmackDown after COVID at MSG, and I believe that the 6-man tag main event. I don't remember who they were facing, which is terrible, but I'm 99.9% sure it was Cena and Ray and Dom, as in a 6-man.
It was at Madison Square. Put John Cena.
It was,
in there.
Yeah, and and like now, Cena leaves, comes back as a babyface, works sporadically, doesn't really get to work with Dom on this on this hot run. Now Cena turns; they're both heels. It's not really going to line up. I mean, unless Dom turns quicker than we think, and Cena for some reason, or maybe he loses the title and gets switched on, during the brand split, and now they're on the same show. There's a smaller chance for it, but I think that it's possible. We see how many dates John Cena's working, and he's even said their appearances. So we're not going to see these. Right, we're not going to see this big John Cena. He's going to wrestle all the guys we want him to see. No, he's going to be ridiculously selective with who he's working with.
Yeah,
and that's crazy to me. I would have thought that he would have gone all out.
No Dom though, man. That's upsetting.
Oh, I know.
Ron says he thinks we do get Punk Cena. Yeah, I'm staying firm with it. Punk Cena and Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Cannot screw that up. You cannot. And I want John Cena to screw him over and then leave through the crowd and blow him a kiss. I want them to just give me that nostalgia. If you're gonna run that match back, I don't have to be anything and mean anything. Just give me the nostalgia, and I'm cool with it. Cena Punk.
At this point, I'm okay if Punk goes away until then.
I think no, because when he comes back, he has to go after Seth and them.
See, I think that too. There could be that thing where he's like, hey, I'll get back to you, but I couldn't wait to come back without addressing this. And then involve Seth in the finish.
Because of how upset he was and how he got laid out, I just don't think he can't come back without that being wrapped up. I just don't think so.
I think
it could happen at Backlash, though. It could literally happen at Backlash.
I think it's too soon. But I think I hope you're right, because I also don't want Punk to be losing at Mania, losing at Backlash to Rollins, because Rollins can't lose again with Heyman in his corner.
You do Punk and Roman versus Rollins and Breaker, and then when they lose, it gives Breaker a good rub, and I'm fine with that. But Roman took the pin at Mania. Roman should take the pin again at Backlash. He was on top of the world for 4 years. He should be giving back now, and I think he's completely okay with that. Roman's a good guy. I don't see him being against that idea.
People are saying that the reports are that he's not coming back until Money in the Bank. So
yeah, who gives a shit what them reports say?
I'm just saying. Look, my thing is this: I just don't want Punk eating too many L's before he gets this title match against Cena. I think it does. Punk's got to go in hot. He's got to go in hot.
Lost?
And he lost at Mania, and if he loses to
Rollins, really lose at Mania, he just didn't get the win. Like in triple threats, because we talk about this all the time. But we talk about this all the time when it's a triple threat and some like Braun Breaker. He lost the IC title at Mania, but he didn't get pinned, so he was protected. So technically, Punk was protected in that triple threat because he didn't get pinned. He just wasn't on the winning side, and I feel like that works there too. I think so, and. Again, when he comes in and do the tag match and Roman loses again, he's still kind of protected there. And what
I'm saying is, I want them to be momentum, I guess is what I'm saying. Like,
so even if it's pay-per-view schedule, what's after Backlash? Let me pull this up.
Well, Backlash that's going to be next month. That's April, right? And then it's May, and then June, and then what? July's Money in the Bank.
So we have WrestleMania. Then we have. They said the draft is coming up. I don't believe that. Backlash is May 10th. Saturday night main event is May. Worlds Collide, I don't know if we'll consider that one, but that's June. And then Money in the Bank is June. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Oh, that's an NXT show. That's Worlds Collide is NXT. It's not WWE.
Yes. So that's my point.
Money in the Bank is June. So he could get a
Not
win
a lot of
back
time.
at Saturday night. He could win a match back at Saturday night main event. And he can also win a match on Raw. He's wrestled on Raw a few times. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I'm not saying he wouldn't wrestle on Raw. Like, my hope is that if they're gonna build this, that Punk is like, okay, I'm gonna move off of Rollins and I'm gonna move forward with everything, and I'm gonna, I came here to be champion and I'm gonna try to be champion, and there's some sort of like number one contender tournament, battle royal, something that gives Punk momentum going in. I just don't want this to be one of those things where it's like, okay, smart wrestling fans know about Money in the Bank, so that's why we're doing this. And it's like, yeah, we do. That's great. But give us something more, too. Like, I want something to sink my teeth into. This is the last time Punk and Cena are going to share a ring. Let me enjoy that.
And I guess this is where we're different as fans to an extent, because just the idea of doing it is enough for me to get psyched, because I want to see what heel John Cena has to say about Punk. Because we talk about doing Cena, Punk, Cena and Orton first time babyface heel. Hey, it'd be the same thing with Punk and Cena. We'd get babyface Punk versus Cena heel. That's a crazy dynamic that in my lifetime I never thought I would see. So just that alone has me just like, just give it to me. I don't care.
To be fair, though,
because it is a B-level pay-per-view.
Sure.
So that's how I look at it.
To be fair, though,
at Worlds Collide.
Orton's coming off a win at WrestleMania, though.
Yeah. And
just
talk about Logan Paul just came off a win. But like I said, Saturday night main event, Punk wins a match. Maybe he wins a number one contenders match. They've been doing those lately. Yeah. So let's see. We're gonna move on because we gotta tackle some things real quick. Jacob Fatu is your new United States champion.
Absolutely love that. Look, people can sit there and talk about. People can talk about how much momentum LA Knight has, and I don't think he even loses any by losing to Jacob Fatu. But there comes a point where somebody gets so hot that if you don't pull the trigger on them, you start to look stupid. They did that with LA Knight. That's literally what happened. People were like, "Why are they waiting so long to put the U.S. title on LA Knight?" People were ready for them to put the U.S. title on LA Knight at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, there's a. If you're going to apply that logic, you have to apply it to Jacob Fatu. And Jacob Fatu is probably the hottest thing on SmackDown right now.
Up-and-coming guy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's insane. And I think it's great. I think he's great. I think that he's money. I think he's going to be he's everything Umaga was, plus he's got mic skills. It's nuts. And more. Yeah, it's nuts. It's that intensity. And you can't manufacture that anywhere else. It's the reason why I am very much drawn to Thea Hale in NXT. She has a boundless amount of energy, and it's just something you can't teach. And I like when people have that intangible that you can't teach. And it's just Jacob Fatu has more intensity than I've ever seen in a human being in my life. It's just, he pops off the screen. He's such a great character, and I'm so glad they pulled the trigger on him. I think they're telling a great story with him and Solo, too. I like that they're dragging this on a little bit longer because people thought, it's going to be them at WrestleMania, and it wasn't. And he wins the U.S. title, an even bigger moment for him. And now they can still sow the seeds of dissension between the two of them, especially with Tama Tonga out, too, now. So now it's just the two of them. Yeah. Very, very interesting. I like everything they're doing with this.
Let's see. Move on real quick. Let me get some of these. Sorry if I missed some of these comments. There's a lot tonight, so I'm just trying to pick and choose which ones to put up. Sorry, I'm not.
And I can't see them. I gotta keep clicking on them to go back. Yeah. So I'm sorry, guys.
I'm pulling up for us. All gas, no breaks. Nah, boy, I love Jacob Fatu. I had two goals WrestleMania weekend, and it was one to meet Chelsea Green, and the second was to meet Jacob Fatu. I didn't get the Jacob Fatu one, but Chelsea Green was enough. That was great. And then she lost the title. Oh my God, I'm so upset.
So upset. But you know what? You got to meet her as champion, so awesome.
I would like Cena beating Theory on Saturday Night. I don't think Theory's wrestling John Cena this year either. I don't know what they're doing with Austin Theory at this point. Yeah. And I hope they figure it out soon because that kid is too damn good.
I agree.
Let's see. Hey, we were talking about Seth and Breaker briefly, so let's go ahead and just circle back to that because
Sure.
that's like the big thing going on in WWE right now. Do you like this pairing? Of course you do, but I need to hear it from your mouth.
I love. Look, there was points where we did say that there was a chance that Heyman could align himself with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect, if that was going to be the case, was that Rollins was going to come on and elevate somebody else with him. And I love that they paired him with Braun Breaker. And I've been reading that there's not.
Quick question, real quick. Do you get Death Rider vibes from this at all?
No.
Really? Okay.
You do?
I do. I think Seth is doing a little nod to Mox with this because he's like, I don't want to do this. I have to do this. I'm doing this for the benefit of the company. I'm trying to save this company from itself. That's why he's going after those people. And that's why, and he ultra violent on Sami Zayn to take him out. Like it's not.
It's interesting. I didn't connect it,
but not the same. Like
I didn't connect that, and I like that. See, I didn't connect that. That's a great call.
Just a little nod to his boy John. That's what I think it is.
I do have to say that I've been reading that they aren't planning on adding anybody else into this group, and if that's the case, man, Braun Breaker is in for. I mean, he's going to be next level. He could be if the play isn't Braun Breaker at WrestleMania 42 versus Seth Rollins. Like, what are we doing right now? Like that, and that's a monster match for him.
I'm not debating this at all, Harry. He says Breaker would wreck you. Yes, for sure.
Yes.
I'm not even saying that they're on the same level, but I will say this. I enjoyed Death Riders when it started and then it fell off. I'm enjoying this as it started. We'll see if it falls off or if it continues to grow. You said that they're not, the rumor is they're not going to add more people to it. And I think that's beautiful because everyone always sees these factions like, who should we add? Who should we add? It's the evolution 2.0. It's like, no, sometimes we need to just do different things and new things. And if you added someone, I feel like it takes away some of the shine from Breaker. But by not adding someone, Breaker is officially the guy that's doing all the work and destroying everybody, and it makes him look that much more badass. That entrance on Raw with Heyman, I'm terrified of Braun Breaker at this point. And every single one of those spears he hit on Sami Zayn, I felt in my chest.
Looked like he was going to break him in 6 pieces.
It felt like Sammy owed him money, and he was like, I'm going to get it from you. I'm going to knock it out of you like Sonic. Get them coins just flying through the air. He destroyed Sammy.
I love that, like, in the match, too, he was yelling at him. I never even liked you from the start. Like, I love this. Like, that intensity.
Yes. And
again, you can't teach it. It's just something you have.
And because I thought Breaker, the logical thing for him was to lose the title and then move to the world title thing with Jey Uso. This is better for him. This is so much better for him because it's in the main event and it's just going to give him reps and attention and just build him up even more. It's perfect how they're doing this. And I love it. Dale says, hey guys, first time, long time. If there is a swerve of a different female, on the Braun and Seth team, who would the ideal woman that would be elevated to a new forefront? It's not going to happen because she's already been involved with something, but I feel like Julia would be the one I would go with here. I know Becky's the ideal because it's like, oh, well, Seth and Becky. No, I want young people getting the shine because Becky can do it on her own. Give that spot to Julia because she's kind of a violent badass too. And I feel like that would be where I would go.
Honestly, another person who I think would be a good addition to this, if you have Braun Breaker, I think almost like his female equivalent or counterpart in the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace would be a great addition.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ron says he sees the parallels between Seth and John's little factions. He shouted out Mox. Yeah, he shouted him out. Like, I do think that, again, it's same, but not the same. That's how I look at it. I would like Seth. I don't want Drew joining Seth's group, Harry, because I want it to be for the younger guy. Like I was just saying with the women.
Yeah.
I want if they're putting anyone in there, I want it to be to give someone the shine that's not gonna get it without that group. Drew doesn't need it. Drew is fantastic on his own. It would just kind of, I feel like make him take a step back to be Seth's little crump. Nah, it doesn't work. So
right, and like it would be a different situation if Heyman was on both shows and saying, "Hey, I'm going to lead Drew to this title. I'm going to lead Seth to the other one."
Seth's
which would be cool, by the way.
The Vision. I'm not against that. Vision's fine. I'm cool with that, Harry. Lou says, "What y'all thought on Reigns' new faction with him, Leia, and Zillow Fat Tube in here?" I don't know. I've been wondering what they're doing with Hikuleo, and I don't know what Zilla I am signed. I don't think so.
Right.
And I still think he needs to kind of be put in check a little bit. He got. I could be completely wrong. I don't know this kid all, but just everything I saw when I was seeing all this stuff, he did kind of seem like he had a bit of an ego, and I think he needs to kind of work his way up into things. Ron says them teasing, not adding Sammy feels like a deliberate statement to those who keep discussing additions. Yeah, I loved it. I think it's great. It was great. Maybe Bailey for Seth's group or Roxanne. Roxanne, again, she's kind of involved with something. And Bailey, no. Dale, by the way, I'm shocked Paul didn't do the same announcement with Braun that he did with Curtis Axel, putting the shoot last name and dropping the gimmick name. I think Braun doesn't want the Steiner name. I think he likes the idea of taking his own path, which I respect.
And I think it's great because look, they've paired him with his dad in NXT.
Yeah, the name's grown on us, so it's like I don't want to change it. Theory did used to work under Seth. This would be one I would be on board with. If we're gonna do it, Austin Theory with Seth, that is fine. Get him away from Grayson, and yeah, that makes sense. I'd be okay with it. I just would prefer it just to be Breaker though. Lou says the same thing.
If they add anything else. If they add anybody else, I would want it to be like a young up-and-coming tag team. And they really don't have a heel tag team right now that meshes with them.
I said this the night after it happened. Not a tag team, but Nathan Frazier. Makes perfect sense. Give Seth his student, his number one pride and joy, bring him up, and it allows Nathan Frazier to showcase what he can do without having to win the crowd over on his own.
So it's really funny that you say that because my thought process was I hope they had a tag team so that they can put Axiom on Raw to face against them. So you can put the mentor versus mentee thing in play. I like how our minds work the same but different. That's a great idea too. He could be another person in the group or pair him with somebody else. I don't want to break up him and Axiom because they're so much fun together, and I really think that. And this is coming from me too, who doesn't watch a lot of NXT. If you don't watch a lot of NXT, you miss a lot of what's special about Fraxium.
They're great.
So, yeah, I think we need to ride that for a little longer.
Yeah. I think breaking them up and not bringing them to the main roster for a match against Motor City Machine Guns or DIY or the New Day. Like, there's matches that they can have on the main roster that I think would be really fun and awesome. So I get that, but I'm also just. I like to try and make it make sense. And I can see Seth making the push for this because he wants to put over his guy. Like, that's his pride and joy wrestling student. That's like his dude. So I can see why he would want to do it that way.
That makes sense.
When is Cross's push? TikTok? I don't know. I keep people saying about it, and I don't know. Poor dude. He's so
Did you see the promo we got?
Which one?
The one
they're all great.
The one after WrestleMania, the one like backstage with him and Scarlett.
Oh, when
with
he
Sam Roberts,
the interview thing with Sam Roberts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. It was beautiful. It tiptoed is he real? Is he not? Like, it's great.
Right.
Yeah.
He's so good at everything he does. I just don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger on him yet.
Money in the Bank cross. I don't know, because that could be like that could also be the like final nail in the coffin for him. Because if you don't get over with the Money in the Bank, you're done. Like you crash. So
at least they give him something now, because they haven't given him anything yet. When he initially came back, they put the hourglass on the apron with Reigns.
Yeah,
they had the Drew feud,
and it didn't work.
Ever since.
So they gave him an opportunity. It just didn't work. Like, but then I see a lot of people say they never gave him a chance. I think they've given him quite a few chances, because we talk about like how Billie Kay, when she was giving her little 30 seconds, whatever, she got over. Chelsea Green, when they give her just a little bit, she got over. These people who get a little and then make the world out of it, they do it. Cross has been given the same kind of opportunities, and it hasn't clicked. It's not that it hasn't been good. It just hasn't clicked for whatever reason. So, and I hate to talk about him this way because I love the dude, and I if you have him in the main event scene going for world, I would love it. I personally enjoy the man, but for whatever reason, it's starting to click a little bit. I think people are overhyping the crowd reactions he's getting, because my friends in the group chat are like, he's so over. And I'm like, he's not that over. But I'm all for being wrong and him taking off for sure. I like him with the hair. I think the bald thing was cool.
I agree.
But it's taken a while to get used to the hair. I'm cool with it now. I think he has a great look.
No,
he has
I will
everything.
listen. I don't care what anybody says. As a bald man, look at this. I am follically challenged, okay? That man has that beautiful head of hair and chooses to shave it to look like me? Absolutely not. He is a bigger heel in life if he continues to do that. Yeah. Let him grow his hair out and keep it for as long as he possibly can, because when this comes, he doesn't have a choice. It sucks. At least he knows he looks good.
All right, so let's switch it up to Money in the Bank. I said we were going to talk about this.
Sure.
We're getting close to the end of the time. Money in the Bank, early predictions. Let's do women first. Who do you have? Who do you think? Who do you think, and who would you like to win Money in the Bank this year for the women?
I think that WWE is really.
He deserves a slamming.
Thank you. I think that there's a really big hole in the future of the baby-faced women's division right now. Because, all right, Tiffany's a babyface technically right now, but we all know that she's way better as a heel. And, of course, we know Bianca's going to be here, and she's here to stay, and she's going to be here for a long time and in the long haul, and that's great. But I feel like every person that they bring up from NXT is being brought up as a heel. Maybe Stephanie Vaquer is the only one who is kind of being brought up like as a babyface. So I think they really need that next level babyface. And if you're going to build somebody that they're already putting a lot of momentum underneath right now, and I think that the trajectory that she is on right now lends itself to having a big moment at Money in the Bank. But Lyra Valkyria is my early pick to be the winner of the Money in the Bank this year.
Lyra, okay, that's not a bad shout.
I mean, she's got every tool. She's over. That promo that she had was good. It was really good against Becky. I think that they're, I think they're doing everything right with her. I think she's hitting it out of the park every time she's given the opportunity. I don't see anything wrong with if you're going to strap the rocket to somebody. I think she's the right one right now.
Ron says Jade, not a bad shout. Harry says his three choices: Becky, Roxanne, and Chelsea. I don't see any of them winning it. And Lou, I don't know if you saw his bald man rant was awesome. So that's 2 nods you got for that. Good job. I'm going to go ahead and say this. She was one of my MVPs from the WrestleMania weekend, and I don't know how much love she got. I hope she did, because this is coming. I'm never been a fan of this girl. She's good. I don't hate on her, but I've never really been a fan of her. But at WrestleMania, Jade, Naomi, something switched. I'm loving this new version of Naomi. I agree. Absolutely love it. And I think it would be absolutely brilliant to have her win Money in the Bank, so that when Jade Cargill finally does win that title, Naomi is right there to just snatch it back away from her. And Naomi deserves it, because she literally, this is not someone I would have ever thought as a heel would be good. She's just naturally good as a babyface. Like, again, never talk crap about her. Just not my cup of tea. But she's done amazing work so far. Her promos leading up to WrestleMania, her presentation at WrestleMania, the way she changed her in-ring work at WrestleMania, because now she's not. It's great. I talk about all the little things all the time, and she did all of them. She checked off all the boxes. So I want Naomi to win Money in the Bank. I think it would be great. And I think the SmackDown Women's Division needs that more than the Raw. Because I think the Raw is stacked. SmackDown is kind of like here and then down here and then nothing in between. That would add some excitement over there. And that's what I like. Didn't like Jay. I heard a few people say this. I loved it. I don't like. I did too. I don't know. I liked it. So now we'll go to men's Money in the Bank.
Braun Breaker. Why was he going to give it to Seth? No. I think that he wins it, and I think Seth is going to that teases the tension.
Okay. That's not a bad shout.
Seth keeps trying to tell him to put it off. Don't cash it in yet. Don't cash it in yet. Let me work my plan.
Good.
You know,
That's good. I'm gonna go Sami Zayn. I've said it multiple times over the years, but with Jey Uso as the world champion and Sami Zayn never getting it and them teasing it just a little bit that Raw after Mania, I think it makes for a very interesting storyline between those two.
Can I ask, does your heart skip a beat at that moment?
No, I was ready for it. I said, yeet that man into the crowd, bro. Yeet your foot right into his mouth.
Do you want Sami to turn heel in this situation?
If it gets that man a world title, I will take it at this point.
Okay.
Because he does great work as a heel. Like, most people prefer him as a heel. Most people prefer him as a heel at this point. I just like them both. Hey, Ron says LA Knight, and that is a great shout.
Yeah, that's a shout.
LA Knight and John Cena was one you need to do.
Yes.
And that would be good.
Yeah.
And then Harry says, my 4, AJ. You just AJ fan, man. You just going to put AJ in everything. You like me and Dom. AJ, Baylor, Braun, and Sammy. So, yeah, he's got both of our guys in it.
I'm all about
squash. I don't think Jade's the squash Naomi at Mania because then it just deflates everything Naomi just worked for. And just makes her kind of look like a punk. And if the plan is to build on this, then you gotta give her something. Yeah, that's my Money in the Bank early picks. That's his WrestleMania Money in the Bank early picks, and we are at the hour mark, so I'm gonna cut it off because Albert has some things to go do. But we will be back next week. What we talk about, I don't know. We never really know. We just go into it and have fun with it, and it always ends up being a blast anyway. Ron,
if we figure it out, if we figure it out, I'll try to post about it.
Yeah, but just come in and expect a good time. That's what I say. Ron asked if we're going to address the Rock stuff. I don't know what Rock stuff to address other than the fact he didn't show up. I don't know what else to address, but
if you want to address the fact that he didn't show up, apparently he was never booked, and I don't like the fact that WWE is reactive booking when ticket sales are low when they're selling out almost every single show. Like, there can be hiccups. It's okay. But the overreaction. So the idea is, so what they said is that TKO, it was a TKO decision to call The Rock in to boost ticket sales for the pay-per-view.
I think that's a lie. I think he's working.
I don't know if it's true or not either. But my thing is this. There are a lot of inconsistencies in booking when The Rock is around. And I think that if he wasn't going to be a part of the end game of this feud, why the hell was he there in the beginning?
Why did he show up at Bad Blood and do the 3 things at Cody and Roman? And then all of a sudden they tried to see, that's my thing. I look back at other things and I know that wrestlers just lie about everything to make the fans feel a certain way. And I feel like if Rock's saying this stuff, is this the interview he did on Pat McAfee?
Yeah.
Where he's, I just think it's work, especially if he's going to Pat McAfee and doing it, because it's all work. It's all work. Maybe I'm naive. I prefer it this way. I'm happier. So,
you know what? Maybe you're right. Look, at the end of the day, I'll put it to you this way. If he's going to be there, they should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and figure out when he can be there and fulfill all of his dates, or else it doesn't make sense. I get, unless he's not going to do anything that's going to have a big major thing. I mean, he's a part of Cena's heel turn and then he's never mentioned again. It's very weird.
I don't like that. I won't defend that at all. I think that was a little bit silly. But
it's very weird.
But again, he did the 3 fingers and then we were all pissed about it because we're like, what does that even mean? And then all of a sudden he showed up again and then he did it and did this and it led to the Cody Rock thing. So maybe the next time he's showing up is leading to the next big thing. I don't know. That's just, again, I'm naive about things, but it makes it easier and I have more fun. So whatever.
I hope you're right.
Whatever.
No, I hope you're right.
Ron, have a nice day. Hey, thank you, man. You have a nice evening as well. And I hope to see everybody back next week. And absolutely check out the Friday night reviews on Friday because those are returning this week as well as we go through WCW Monday Nitro from beginning to end. Thank you all, and we will see you next week. Toodles. I'll have a new one next week.